So can you download the app? It's called Golden Ratio. Golden Ratio. Now, within this app, you can take it and you can look where landscapes are, and you could see, and it'll tell you where the golden ratio like spot is, right? But this app also, it calculates the beauty of a person's face. And the beauty of a person's face, anywhere from the scale of 1 to 10. So 1% of the population is a 9, 2% of the population is an 8, 4% is a 7, and everyone falls under the category of 6 and below on an attractive level. Now, an individual that goes to say to cosmetic surgery, right? And they say, hey, you know, whatever they don't like about their features. Typically, a doctor is just going to look at the golden ratio, see what beauty ratio they're at. So let's say the individual's a 6. They can only take them to a 7. So you can't make a 6 a 9. So you can only go 1 up. Now, Ford models, the top agents in the world, and also actresses, the agents do know that the person that looks the most attractive on camera is going to be the one with the golden ratio. So if they look mad, sad, whatever, they're like, hey, I want that person, because guess what? Beauty sells. Good looking people sell. Oops, right? So they thought, hey, why not? Now the golden ratio, not everyone knows about it. And if they did know about it, they could actually enhance themselves to be more beautiful if they're not, by applying golden ratio makeup, right? Or you could also have the golden ratio attire, because everyone's body size is different. That's a different segment in itself, right? But for instance, like this is Gigi Hadid, right? She has 7.93. Now it's all calculated. The width of the eye is supposed to be the width of the nose, and then the width from the eye, from the bottom of the lip to the chin. So you see the ends of the lips. You see from the lips all the way down the chin. That's going to be the size of the eyes. So if it's not a 10, it means that that part is a little off in math. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So can you show another image? Okay, let's do another one where it's not like slanted. Okay, so here is Kendall. Kendall's like the top model in the world, right?
That's Kendall Jenner?
Well, not Kendall. What's her name? It's Kendall, yeah.
That's Kendall Jenner?
Not Kendall. Well, you know, the top Kardashian. Which one's that? The top model.
I think that's Kendall Jenner.
There you go, Kendall Jenner.
This is her? I don't think is that really her?
That's Kendall Jenner.
She looks different. A lot of these girls had a copious amount of plastic surgery.
Yeah, no, I know. But there's a picture of me with makeup.
That's you?
Yeah. Do you have a picture of me with no makeup or no? Okay, yeah. So here's what's very interesting is that, okay, but my math is like a 10-10 on the face. And this woman on the left, right, she's the Victoria's Secret model. She has her lips done. She got her nose done. She got it all done, right? Except for she has beautiful eyes. Beautiful. Adrienne Lima, my favorite model. Me on the other end, I don't have anything done, but because I have such big eyes, everything is in the proportion. Now 9.43. I have yet to upload anyone that has reached over 9.25. So the thing is also, if I have negative energy and I have a vampire sucking person that wants to eat me, right? What will happen, and I have this, and I have taken this into account. It's freaking fascinating, okay? It's so fascinating that I'm going to share this with you after, or maybe these guys are going to have maybe a follow-up. When I'm around this person, my face will change to like a 7, and I look like a different person. Everything's like boom, and literally it can happen within 3 minutes. It is crazy. It is insanity. So how do I know if my energy is good? If I am around the right people? All I do is take a picture and I upload it, right? And that's how I know, oh, okay, my energy, my vibe is good. When I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, the ratio goes down.
You were born and raised in Idaho?
So I was born in California, in Orange County, California, but I was raised in Boise, Idaho. And what is insanely crazy is that from the age of 15, I got mentored from 15 to 17 by the name of J.R. Simplot. And J.R. Simplot is what made the state of Idaho, the potato state. And he taught me the fundamentals of how to go across and how to make business happen. So I put that skill set to action. And by the age of 19, I was the casting director for the Miss Universe. And I was also responsible for individuals that were double my age, right? And when I saw the transformation and how individuals all they needed to learn was communication skills. All they needed to learn was how to meet the right people, and also not be around individuals that are not going anywhere. Now, if you teach people only 3 basic skills, hey, all you need in life to go from A to Z is communication. You know how to network. And 3, you need to know how to present yourself. So if you have those 3 skills, you're able to take anything to the next level, right? So from 19 to 25, I was a casting director, and I have recruited and coached and trained over 500 women on how to build confidence and how to have their life in perspective. Looking back now at 29 years old, right? And overseeing everything. Okay, Christine, what have you learned? What makes you the best, right? And why should we listen to you, right?
So you're 29?
I'm 29 years old.
I see. Has anybody told you kind of come off a little contrived? You seem very fake when you talk to me.
Never, first time. And actually, I can actually see this being my first time if I were to see the video. Like right now, I'm a little bored talking about myself, just to be honest. Yeah. It's kind of boring because to me, I need you to ask me more questions in a more sizzling way, right?
Right. You used to have guys like dance monkey dance for you,
right?
You used to guys like dance monkey dance for you, like you just show up and like they immediately come to you and start talking to you, and like you're doing what you basically, I think you're used to controlling the situation a lot of the times. You
got it.
Yeah.
You may say, okay, what is it? Well, I divorced a millionaire, right? And then
Which one is it, billionaire or millionaire?
So 900 million is almost billionaire. So here's what's interesting. I want you to know.
Divorced him or he divorced you?
I divorced him.
Why?
I divorced him because I wanted my freedom back. He took all my freedom away. All I did was everything to inspire him and everything to enable his dreams, right? And so I remember.
Were you with him before he was a millionaire?
Before he started the company on the 2nd year we met each other.
And he was not a millionaire at the time?
Not before, no.
How much was he making?
Oh, he was the global director of Visa, so not much, like 400,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I came from this lifestyle, and I decided that I needed to break away from this path where I was never going to fulfill my potential. I was never going to be me. I was always going to be what he wanted. And I knew that I was going to be going into a different environment, but I was willing to even pay $1 million for freedom. The freedom was taken away from me. Freedom of speech, with freedom of what I wanted to do, the freedom of my thoughts. It was only what he thought, what he wanted, and what it worked best for him. So I said, I'm going to have to take myself away from this, despite I have financial security. I have everything going for me. So where I live right now, and you're asking me, oh, okay, hey, you come across as fake, which I can say
very contrived.
That's okay.
Very contrived. I have a lot of experience with people. I have my background in psychology, and I've done a lot of. I don't know. You just seem like you're not being real with me right now. It seems like you're just.
No, right now, actually, I'll tell you.
Kind of like putting on an act because we're being recorded.
Okay, well, I'm excited to tell you a little bit. So I think that maybe I should get off this I think you have to be comfortable to come across when you communicate. So I'm on a bar stool. I'm barely off the edge, right? And I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because he just seemed it seems a little rehearsed. I have history in theater and acting on stage and stuff as well. So I don't know, I'm just a really good people reader. So that's just what I got from you. Tell me how you met this guy. How'd you meet this guy, Mr. French guy?
Mr. Parlez-vous français? I met him at a movie theater in Seattle, and I was in line for popcorn. I said, hey, looks like you need to save some money. I just made a little sarcastic joke, and he said, oh, I don't like to save money. And I said, oh, okay. Well, where are you from? Because he had an accent. He said, I'm from San Francisco. Well, I immediately got his contact because I was opening the market there for a company called Perk. It was the runner-up in the Celebrity Apprentice. And I was doing all the acquisitions and merchants. So I thought, great opportunity for me when I go down there to connect with this individual, because I didn't know anyone in San Francisco. So that's what started everything off. We did long distance for a year, communicating. We saw each other every 3 weeks, and we hit it from there. I thought at the very beginning that this guy was a very successful, had a man of character. Well, I thought that men that are successful have character. What I realized is that character, it doesn't matter how successful you are. Character is something that you are either born with or you're raised with. It's hard to build character at 30 years old if you don't have it, or 40, kind of like Kent Train and Old Dog.
How old were you when you met him?
I was 21 years old when I met him, and he was 42 years old. So the age difference is quite drastic,
huge.
Right?
Yeah, huge.
And
I don't care. I'm all about it. I don't judge. I think it's quite normal from back in the day. Like when somebody, it's always funny when I hear it's always the ugly girls. They're like, you should date someone age appropriate. She's like, no, you should be quiet.
Works, right?
Yeah, it's none of your fucking
have
business.
A 20 years age difference.
I think it's hilarious that usually the girls that are most opinionated about relationships are single. It's always funny to see that.
Yeah,
I think it's better. I think it's better when the man is older because he can offer a little bit more wisdom and guidance. Because if you're both like 25, you're both kind of idiots fumbling around. I mean,
absolutely, 100%.
It's like
yeah, you don't know who's gonna pull the string, right?
Yeah, it's always good, in my opinion, to have a man leading the relationship. The guy who's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, kind of knows where things are going. So you dated him from 42 to 51, and then you just recently divorced now, right?
Yeah, I divorced him, about like a year ago. So it was a year-long process, and I just, voila, I'm done. And I think it's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. I knew, what was crazy though, it blows my mind. I'm like, wow, Christine, who would do that? I had everything I wanted. Private jets, planes, clothes, going to France, going to London almost every 3 weeks. And now I'm sitting here with $200 in my pocket. And I do know that, hey, you know what, Christine? You can make this happen. How? Your brain will figure it out. And I remember when I made this decision a year ago, everyone was like, hey, you're going to leave Bruno? I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving him. Are you kidding me? Why would you leave that lifestyle? Because I'm not a user. Because if I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you. And if it's not working for me, well, I'm going to go and do something else. I'm not worth, like I said, hey, all the money in your bank, I'm worth more than all the money in your bank. That was my mindset. So
you moved out. When did you move out from being with Bruno?
Well, I didn't move out. I lived in the vacation home in Las Vegas. So I resided there during the divorce. And then I just came back here. The divorce was on Zoom.
And he paid everything while you were waiting for the divorce?
Yeah, it was an entire year. Yeah.
What did you do during that entire year?
Meanwhile, there's a woman in the building. She was had a company, and I decided to become the CEO of the company. And I basically ran the whole show of 8 people for like a year. And
you became the CEO. Revenue. Did she pay you?
What's most interesting though is.
So that's a no.
I think I'm dumb. I landed like a $7 million deal. And she said, hey, and I was thinking, during this course of the year, this divorce, I wasn't thinking I want to work with this company forever. I was thinking, Bruno Strand and me, I'm going to make this company, go from A to Z, right? But the resources will be there, this. So I do have a card. I can go get whatever I want, whenever I want. It's not a salary. It's more like I am in the bank. If that makes sense.
No.
So I can use the money whenever I want.
What money?
Does that make sense?
No. What money? So you got paid zero to be a CEO?
I never put anything in my personal bank account. Just went to the business bank account.
Right. So you made nothing then?
No. Well, I realized that. Remember when I said I just realized who people are 8 months later? Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this particular individual is a user and a gold digger, and someone that you basically will slave you. Okay. And so the company, it's if I tell you what the company is, you're gonna be like, that's the company. You're gonna be like, what? You're the CEO of that company? Yeah, that's that company. I'll tell you later.
Sure.
I'm not gonna tell you the name right now.
It's just it's
a firearm company in the firearm business.
It's fine. What I'm trying to say is that you should never have accepted a position with zero payment up front. I think that was just a little bit on, that I'm not trying to like insult you or kick you or anything, but yeah, that was a bad idea. Like you should always agree to like what's up with compensation.
I know. Here's my problem. I've been doing too many freebies my whole life. And people are like, why are you volunteering? It's like you're volunteering. It's like, hey, I'm here. And it's stupid, but hey, guess what? What they call it, it's called you live and learn. You might live and learn the stupidest ways and learn from them. But hey, if you're learning at 50, then I'm sorry for you, but I'm so glad that I learned, and I'm not 50 yet. You know what I mean?
Right. Wow.
Well,
so what were you doing during?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. I can tell your brain over there, it has a lot of thoughts of awesomeness.
Not awesome. I just want sex.
If you were to, I would say, create the new movement, and only you have that power. No one else has that power. So God granted you, or if you don't believe in God, it's a scepter. Boom. How would you use your vibration to create a movement? And it doesn't matter the gender, but what would that movement be? And everything would go your way. For example, just like the Dove campaign went on with the accept yourself, be you, don't, so that's a movement in itself. But if you were to create a movement,
but a movement.
So if this was in your power 100%, I'm curious, what would it be?
Just to like make people like just accept the truth.
Okay, so how do you get someone like me that accepts the truth and you're still like, what the fuck? I'm sorry for saying the bad word.
You're okay.
I came from Vegas. I need to stop. I never cursed before.
No, I would say, just if it was a movement that I had to influence, then I would be like, yeah, this is like, make sure you just accept the truth and like, fundamentals of the truth as well, like, kind of good sense, you know what I mean? Just like common sense isn't
right,
common
but
anymore.
Common sense is not so common anymore.
Right. So, I mean, that would be my movement. Just make people accept the truth,
Okay, but there's so many, that's very like, okay, so give me an example.
Like people think there's more than two genders, which is hilarious.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, people.
Oh, the thing is it's a hadath, right?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, man and woman. Like there's only two
They
genders.
really think?
No, that's true. There are, but people think there's like 70 something different genders.
You're kidding.
No.
Never heard of this. Where?
It comes from the great state of California, actually.
What?
Like they call them like
Okay.
they say, I think the cool thing people say now is like I'm non-binary, which means like I don't adapt as a male or I don't adapt as a female. Like because binary too, there's only two genders. Like, oh, I'm non-binary, and it's basically.
Well, I'll tell you something. This particular individual that worked for their company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this individual was a Navy SEAL, had a sex change at the age of 35, turns into a chick, and it's the weirdest thing because in the morning she's a dude until like 2, masculine alpha male, like bam, I mean alpha, like the most alpha male masculinity a person can get. Then 4 o'clock comes around, total chick. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Who are you? I'm like, hey, do you think you have personality disorder? But here's the thing. So I always wondered, just because you mentioned this, are you male or are you female? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I didn't know people make those assumptions. I think that people are just crazy in general and they like to assume everything, right? Does that make sense? Well, okay, so I'm going to make some general statements about you. How about that?
Sure.
So, for example, I'll tell you how kind of vibe I'm getting. I'm a viber, so I can feel vibe, energy. I would say I got some pretty nasty energy on me now that's coming from California, which is throwing me off on a different spectrum. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I say, hey, Christine, I gotta block that energy. So I block the energy with, this person being blocked everywhere on the planet. The vibes is gonna go away, and it's a really strange vibe. I'm sure you see the vibe, and I think that's the one where you're like, hey, Christina, are you fake? It's the vibe. It's not me. It's the energy. Energy can change your vibration. So you, for example, you're very thoughtful. You bring everything into perspective after the thought. Then you try to not understand who the individual is. You don't care who the individual is. It's all based off your experience, who you know, what you learned, because you said you're a psychologist, right?
I'm not a psychologist. I just have a background.
Yeah, same thing, no? Your brain is like boom, 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 right? You're in the people business.
Yeah.
You're not selling products. You're in the people business. You genuinely like people because you want to know, why are you like this when you could be like this, right? But also, here's the real deal. Are you ready?
Edge of my seat.
You are trying. I think you're relying on the energy on the receptant. And I think this is not going to be recorded just between me and you, because I like to coach people too and train them. Is your brain is giving me the energy, but your body language is not giving me the energy. Because I rub off energy. And but you are very good. Your chakras are like a 10-10, I could tell. Your vibration is very high, but you're very reserved. You want it because you know how to close off negative energies. You know how to put that. You have a sealant, and you don't allow other people to come in, because then the energy can come in like that energy that came to me, and it just changed my vibe. That's because my chakras are all screwed up. Make sense? Yeah. So it's not me 100% all the time, because the energies that I am interfering with are actually like hitting at me, right? You're closed. But what's interesting is, if someone like me that you're talking to, or anyone, I would say I naturally get excited. But if you want to get the receptant excited on the other end, right? Like me, I want to get them excited, because right now I'm like really bored, but it's okay. It's because I think your job is to get me excited. That like I know we're talking about how can we, we want to inform people on how to think, because not a lot of people think. Yes, we want to inform. We want to make our content so juicy where people are like, oh my god, what just happened there? But in order for that to happen, right, I need you to give me some energy. Right. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, let's talk about your goals moving forward.
And when I tell you this, it sounds crazy. It sounds like the craziest thing you'll ever hear in your life. But it's my, when you have that voice that keeps talking to you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have this voice for 14 years. It's called, when you have that third person that says, hey, no, you're not doing that right. You're supposed to do this. Well, this third person inside of me, my aura tells me, hey, Christine, you're going to be the number one influencer, not YouTuber, influencer in the world, number one. And I'm like, how, why? So, and I've been going against it for 8 years now. I'm like, all the time, no matter what I'm doing, and it's getting misaligned. It's like, hey, no, Christine, like you're going to be the number one influencer. This is not going to get you there. I'm thinking to myself, I've only like shut that stupid voice off for a million times. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to be doing this. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I'm going to do this. Hey, Christine, why are you doing DPM? Why are you doing this? Boom, it's not getting there. And I'm always like, this sounds a little crazy. So you know what? And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, number one influencer, you give me a break. Got number one influencer. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. When has the voice in my head ever failed me? I'm thinking, it never has. Maybe it might be a spirit that's making sure that, hey, by the way, this is where we're going. And here's what a conclusion I came up with yesterday. So, I don't know what this theosophy is all about. Okay. But I like to shut that stupid voice down. And if I fail, then awesome, the voice will go away. And I won't have to deal with it anymore. They teach you how
right, but you need a concrete plan.
The concrete plan has not happened.
No, I know that. I know. Just you need a concrete plan, and then you need to execute on it. Seems to me that you kind of live in a fantasy world. Like you don't really have a firm grasp on reality. This conversation's been, you kind of just droning on, but
guess what?
It's no. See, that's the problem. You want to talk when you should be listening, because I know what I'm talking about in this area, and you don't. I think your reality, your situation hasn't really hit you yet, but
right.
You need a mentor, and you need to go submit yourself to somebody who's going to teach you how to do this, because at your current rate, I'm not trying to shit on you, but from a logical standpoint, your business plan is completely flawed, and there's no way you're going to be successful.
Well, there is no business plan.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. There's going to be no plan. I mean, there's going to be no success. And you see
the mentors in my life.
This is a problem. When you just want to talk, like you should be listening. When I'm like, you want to connect with somebody.
Oh, because I have something to say.
Listen. When you want to connect with somebody, you don't cut them off, because that dehumanizes the other person and makes them feel like, okay, so I'm here just to be this person's emotional punching bag, or whatever. But I mean, I just you should definitely be a little bit more conscientious of the moment, the now, right now, because I heard a lot of chakras and woo woo and the universe and God and all this stuff, but I didn't hear any practical advice. So not a fan. No, I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself, but just giving you a cold hard truth about your situation right now. And I wish you nothing but massive success, and I hope you can get every dream that you want. I want you to have it, but right now, the way you're going about it, you're never going to get it. You have to change your plan, and you got to, you're a little scatterbrained too. You need to get focused and kind of calm down and get serious, because you're 29. Now's the time to get the ball rolling. You said you only have $200 to your name, and again, it's not an insult. I lost everything 5 years ago. Everything. I had $10 to my name. So you're $190 richer than I was when I was actually 29 5 years ago. So That's what I would say. That would be my advice to you. But we're going to end the interview now. So it was so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lovely. Thank you for your advice, by the way. And
You're
I
very
look forward
welcome.
to you seeing in the future what's going to happen with me.